Hey there fellow coders, welcome back to Codemaster Quest. I hope you are having a fantastic day because we are going to dive into another exciting problem. Today we are tackling the problem of finding the pivot index in an array. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's get our code on. Here is the question description. Given an array of integers nums, we should calculate the pivot index of this array. And what is the pivot index? The pivot index, as you can see here, is the index where the sum of all numbers strictly to the left of the index is equal to the sum of all the numbers strictly to the index is right. And if the index is on the left edge of the array, then the left sum is 0 because there are no elements to the left. This also applies to the right edge of the array. And at the end, we should return the leftmost pivot index. And if there is nothing like this, we should return -1. And if we consider this example 1, if we have an array like this, we should return number 3. And why is this happening? Because if you consider index number 3, which is this number 6, the elements on the left, the sum of all the elements on the left is equal to 11, and the sum of all elements on the right side of this index is equal to 11 as well. So now let's switch back to the Visual Studio Code and try to solve this question. Let's solve this question. First of all, we need to define our function signature, func pivot index. Then we should define the input for this function, which is going to be an array of integer. Let's call it nums, array of integer. And at the end, we should return the pivot index, which is going to be integer again, right? Int. And to solve this question, the first step is to calculate the total sum of this array. Let's calculate the total sum in this way. Total sum equal to nums.reduce 0 and plus. And if you want to do it in a in a simpler form, you can make a simple for loop iteration for item in nums, and then in each iteration you can say total sum plus equal to item. But I prefer to do it in the shorter version. And to solve this question, I'm going to make an iteration over the elements of this array. And in each iteration, I want to check whether the left sum is equal to the right sum, right? And to do this, we should calculate the left sum and right sum in each iteration. For this purpose, I want to define a variable called left sum and set it equal to 0 at the beginning. Then let's make our iteration. Let's say for I in 0 up until to nums.count. I want to add the value of the current index to the left sum. Let's say plus equal nums I. But I prefer to do it in this way. I can say value equal to nums.I and say left sum plus equal to value, right? But before adding the existing index to the left sum, I want to check whether the left sum is equal to the right sum, right? So for this purpose, I need to calculate the right sum. Let's say right sum is equal to total sum minus left sum from the previous index minus the value of current index, and this will give us the right sum, right? So here we can check whether the left sum is equal to right sum. And if this is the case, then we should return this specific index. And if we went through this for loop and we didn't find anything, we should return the non-existing pivot index flag, which is -1, right? So this should be the solution for this question. But to make sure everything is working correctly, let me switch to the browser, find the examples for this question like this. Come back to the Visual Studio Code. That's it. Okay. Let's store this array somewhere. Let nums equal to this one. And then let's call this function pivot index for nums. And let's store the result somewhere. Let result equal to this one, and then print the result. Okay, now let's call, let's run this Swift file. Swift problem1, that's 3, right? Let's check whether the expected value is 3 or not. Yeah, the output is 3, right? So this should be the solution to this question, but to make sure everything is working correctly, let's come back to the Visual Studio Code. Close the terminal, copy the solution, come back to the browser, and submit this solution to LeetCode. Hit the submit button. And yeah, that's it. Here's the solution to this question. Thank you, everyone.